name is Anna Ladigbo of AnnaLadigbo.com. I am a senior IT consultant and I manage projects and programs for primarily Fortune 500 companies. I've managed projects portfolios of over $500 million. And I also own an online marketplace called Luckstop. It's focused on fashion, skincare, and accessories. And on this channel, I will be sharing information about professional development, entrepreneurship, and lifestyle in general. So please like and hit the subscribe button as I'll be sharing tips regularly on this channel. Welcome again. Today I want to share with you my top skill of a successful leader. Drum roll. Communication. I'm sure you're not surprised. My top skill of a successful leader is communication. Now, for some of us, selling our ideas, running presentations, and speaking in front of people probably does not come natural. And the statement of fact is no one is born with the art of communication. We have to build that skill. So I'm going to share with you some tips of how I was able to grow and build my communication skills effectively. So before I share the tips, I'll give you a situation that happened early in my career. I was in a role as executive director for professional services, and part of the scope of that position is pitching, the services of the company I was working with to other companies. So this particular engagement was somewhere in Saskatchewan. I'd taken the time to prepare, so I thought, and the D-Day was here. I was in the boardroom with their CEO. I actually went on this trip with the CEO of my company, and we were in a boardroom, and I started my presentation, and it wasn't even midway, a few sentences in, I was catatonic. I couldn't say another word. I froze. And thankfully, the CEO of my company came in swiftly and rescued me. Now, I think a couple of things happened there. One being, the key thing was I spent most of my time cramming the presentation as opposed to leveraging other skills to make sure that I was confident enough to, run the presentation without any hiccups. And part of the process of me preparing for this presentation was also going to an expert, a communications expert, to kind of help me build my communication. I'd gone to Toastmasters and thought what I knew to do that was helpful, but what I found is that it really has to come from you. Now, these professionals are excellent. They do an amazing job, and it's not to diminish the value of what value they bring. But at the end of the day, the change has to come from you. You have to be prepared, you have to apply yourself, and you have to go through the process of building your communication skills. And also learning that at times it's a process, it's a journey. You're not going to get there in one day. The first skill I'm going to share with you is active listening. And my key principle on active listening is listening to understand before you respond rather than listening to respond. There's a distinction between the two. When you understand, your chance of responding correctly or effectively is higher. I like to leverage a skill called parroting if I'm not clear on what is being communicated to me. And that's simply repeating back what you thought you've heard to the person speaking with you. So something like, okay, I think what I understand you're trying to say is XYZ. That gives a chance for the other person to clarify or confirm what they're trying to convey, and it gives you more context to provide your response. So that's my tip on active listening. My second tip is modeling. Model after someone you admire. It could be someone you know personally or someone you see on TV. For me, I do admire Barack Obama's style of communication. He's a master orator. I also model after people that I've worked with. If I'm in meetings and I notice that someone has a communication style that I do admire, I zone into them, I listen intently. I try to have meetings with them just to look at those nuggets, tips that they're using during the meetings to communicate effectively, and I model that. So that's a tip for you. If you find someone that you admire their style of communication and it's shown that it's been valuable to them, try to model your communication after them. Read books, watch TV, look out for people within your organizations that do have the golden template of how to communicate effectively. The third tip is practice, practice, practice. I can't say that enough. Practice, practice, practice till you become proficient. Find someone who's trusted and objective for you to practice with, someone who can critique and give you authentic feedback. My fourth and final tip is be prepared. Know your material, know your content, know the people, understand the environment. Personally, for me, within my career, I've had to run steering committee meetings, which at times could be a bit high stress. You have senior executives there looking for timely updates, and I personally typically would prepare my material at least 4 or 5 days ahead of that meeting. I also usually would share that content with key stakeholders, people that really are in the know, to get their feedback ahead of the meeting. At times, the best place to get feedback is not while you're in the meeting, because it could throw you off, while you're presenting. So share your content ahead of time, get useful feedback, make your necessary updates. Another thing is test your technology, especially in this day and age where we're mostly remote. We're using different types of tools, leveraging different types of tools to communicate. Ensure you know your technology, test it out ahead of the meeting. Also, know your environment. If you're running a meeting in a meeting room, go there, scope the layout, ensure that you understand the layout, and finally, be punctual. If you have a presentation, if you're driving a meeting, it's best to be early, at least 10 minutes. I know that might seem like an overkill for some people, especially if it's something you haven't done before. Get there early enough, lay out your material, get a feel of the room, make yourself comfortable. At times, the best thing is not when you're flustered, running from, trying to get there like 3 minutes to when the meeting is starting, trying to fiddle with your technology. It's not advisable. So get there way ahead of time. Make sure your technology is set up, your material is nicely laid out, and you're in a relaxed state. So those are my tips. Ensure that you're prepared. And on a final note, my journey has led me to write a book on strategies for effective communication for professionals. And you can find that book on Amazon. Also on my website, The Analytica, and you see how I quickly cut that communication mishap. It's not YouTube, it's Amazon. So go on Amazon, order the book. Also on my website, there's actually a link to where you can reach the book on Amazon, or also download a copy if you're looking to buy an electronic copy. It's all on my website, or just simply, again, search Strategies for Effective Communication for Professionals by Analytica. You'll find it on the website. And finally, remember to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for listening. Till next time, have a blast.